All right, good morning, everybody. So, looks like we might be having a bounce here at angular support. What's up, Big Bear? How's it going, buddy? So, we are green so far in the morning. You can see right around anywhere between the 9 and the 13. See if it gets a bounce. Thanks for pronouncing it right today, Dean. So we'll see if today is a bounce at angular support and continues up. So we shall see. Let's do the watch list and get right into it. And let's pull up Solo. So Solo's hitting trade ideas. Got an aftermarket or pre-market high of 726. What's up, Creed? Right below that 750 marker, right there on that 200 SMA. So we're going to keep an eye on this one right here. It kind of has a, it's, kind of a flag-ish pattern on the 5-minute. So again, pumping up, pulling right back. We're going to see if it can go and break out. Obviously, get above or break out of this $6 marker, then so I'd say about $6. Then next up, obviously $7 in these areas of resistance. So we'll keep an eye on Solo. That will be one to keep an eye on. And let's take a look at what's next up here. CREG. I think this is an Asian stock. History of pumping and dumping, I believe. China. Yeah. Ooh, it's kind of a messy looking pattern right now, but kind of has a symmetrical triangle-ish, so we'll keep an eye on this one as well. You'll see pre-market high around that 230 marker right up here. Might be doing an ascending triangle or kind of like a symmetrical triangle-ish. So if you guys kind of go kind of like this a little bit. Not going to be perfect, but sort of like this. So keep an eye on, we'll keep an eye on CREG as well. So Solo, CREG, DCIX, that's a shipper company, I believe. I know you guys were talking about that one. The shippers this morning. Yeah, it looks like Tops is up as well. Good old shippers. So DCIX, that one has a head and shoulders right now. Head, left shoulder, right shoulder. So it pumped up and now it's dumping back. We'll keep it on the peripheral watch. Don't like the pattern right now, but pre-market high 277. Got some support down in these levels. And probably that 250 marker as well. So kind of has a head and shoulders at the moment. So not looking so hot right now, but we'll keep an eye on it at open. Let's look at Tops because that is another known pump and dump. Tops, kind of another one that's kind of rolling over right now. Again, this one has a history of, you can see it's just a garbage stock, but if it gets a pump, it's one to keep an eye on. It's kind of breaking angular support at the moment, so let's see some right around. It's just a messy looking chart right now, but keep it off to the side. I still like Solo and potentially CREG a little bit better. So yeah, the shipping one, DCIX and Tops, is not looking too hot right now. BLNK, that's another pump and dumper. It has a history of pumping. Let's take a look at that one. Wow. Let's see what this one here. Pre-market high, 276. puts us right above that 50 SMA. So this one, again, has a history of pumping and dumping. So this one we could definitely keep an eye on. I'd put $3, probably that 350 area, right around $4. So this is one to keep an eye on. Again, crappy looking candle right now. Or it's just a huge giant flagpole up. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing dumped down as well. But we'll keep an eye on it. So again, so far I'm liking Solo and CREG better. Let me take a look at some from the watch list. FRO. So this one kind of has a big inverse, kind of an inverse head and shoulders-ish pattern. See if we can get above that 730, 734 marker. This one might be a sleeper to keep an eye on. Then you have some resistance right around that $8-ish marker. So this is one kind of a higher float stock. Has a pattern, kind of has an inverse head and shoulders-ish pattern. This is one to keep an eye on. So I like the look of that one, FRO. All right, so what else we got? Let's look at HC LP. Not liking that one really right now because that's too close to the moving average lines. Need some more volume. EBR. This had a double bottom break, but now it might be doing kind of a cup and handle-ish. So let's see, pre-market high or aftermarket high around 685, right below $7. It needs to get above $7. If so, got some. This one, a little bit weird of a pattern right now. It's kind of just a little bit all over the place. Not a lot of volume, but it might be forming a possible like ascending triangle. So this is one to maybe keep an eye on. So we'll keep that off to the side for EBR. Let's look at SIG. This one's kind of dumping. Got up to 350. Now it's kind of dumping right now, so it's not looking so hot at the moment. And it's a bit overextended, so that might be a possible setup. It is easy to borrow, so this could be a possible short setup. With support around on that $3 area if it fails. Previous close. Let's look at NIHD. Come on. So this one looks like NIHD has kind of a bigger kind of cup and handle-ish. You can see an inverse head and shoulders here. If it can break above that 640 area, it stays above here. It's kind of in a range right now, but it kind of has an inverse head and shoulders, this pattern. This one is intriguing. So you have an inverse head and shoulders in an overall bigger cup and handle. And it's kind of doing a falling wedge pattern kind of right here. So this is one that might be intriguing to watch. Again, a little bit spotty right now pre-market with the volume, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on. So let's see what we're going to look at here. CREG. So I'm going to look at Solo. So SOLO, CREG, FRO, and probably NIHD right now to start. Those are my 4 that I'm going to watch. I'm going to probably put on, let's see here, Solo over here. And like CREG right now. So you guys can see kind of a symmetrical triangle here on CREG. See if this can break out and then get above that pre-market high of 230. Solo. See if this one can move up. Again, this one's going to be probably all over the place here a little bit. And obviously anywhere between the 726 marker. But again, I'm going to be keeping an eye on NIHD and FRO from the watch list because those are many of the ones that nobody are taking a look at, and many of those will pop up at the same time. So I'm going to keep an eye on both of them. I'm going to remove this drawing and go kind of, let's do this. Kind of not perfect, but let's do. This is where if you're new, guys, you got to always be adjusting your trend lines as things move up. So kind of like that. So you can see kind of a couple symmetrical triangle-ish patterns. So we'll keep an eye on both of those. Again, I'm still also looking at NIHD and FRO. I might switch off one of these at open. Again, I'm looking at both FRO and NIHD. I like the patterns a little bit better right now. So we'll keep an eye on it. And for those of you guys watching on YouTube, we opened up the stream for you guys today. If you're not a member yet, you can come join over here. We have a day trade, swing trade, futures room. We do all of our chatting in our chat rooms. We also, again, do watch lists, trade alerts. We have thousands of dollars worth of courses. We do our live streaming each day. You can subscribe right over here if you're not a member yet. So now we wait. I'll be back with you guys in a few moments. And we shall see what happens today. All right, I'm back. And right now, Solo is failing that lower angular support level. CREG is right at it. Maybe adjust out a little bit over in here as well. So we shall watch and see, guys. I'm not loving CREG or Solo right now at the moment, but we'll see if it can hold and go and break out and continue. If not, we're going to obviously have trade ideas in our Thinkorswim scanner set up and keep our eyes on any other potential plays and patterns. Remember, lots of volatility going on right now. Markets are crazy now. I'm sure heading into the midterms because it's got to find a direction. And that's where you get all this up and down yo-yo effect can make it crazy to trade at times. Let me do this. Yeah, Solo is interesting at the moment. But again, kind of these symmetrical triangles. These can be very tricky to trade. So one more minute to the bell, guys. And both DCIX and tops are selling off at the moment. DCIX has a nasty head and shoulders pattern. It's right at the base of the shoulder or the neckline. All right, so at this point right here, so keep an eye on Solo. Right here, see if this can go and break out of that symmetrical triangle. Needs to probably get above that. I'd put it at that 650 marker, that $half amount. So it needs to get above that wick here, but 650 being that whole dollar amount. You can see both of them right now. We're kind of failing angular support. Creed, that's funny. Creed's watching Han and Solo. So this is where, if you're new, guys, you got to let the market play out for a few minutes. You got to be very careful playing that opening range because you see it just gets really crazy the first few minutes of the day. And you'll see both right now, CREG and Solo are failing. Yep, DCIX just got a huge... I might pull that out, but it's still in that head and shoulders pattern. It's maybe forming that right shoulder. If it continues up, I'm going to pull it up. But so CREG is failing. Solo's not looking so hot. Let me pull up DCIX right now. So DCIX, you'll see it kind of held support at this head and shoulders, so right around the neck line area. Getting a pop, but it still has this potential right shoulder. It needs to clear that 250-ish area. As I would say, there's a bunch of garbaccio. Lots of garbage right now. Nothing's going on. BLNK might be intriguing to look at some point. It's got a nasty looking candle forming though. So, so right now with DCIX, if it holds, you can see moving average lines are pinching. If it can get above VWAP, it has that 234, 200 SMA, then that 250. Really strong resistance here. So if it can get above that 200 SMA, be very careful of that 250, that kind of that left shoulder right around here, 245 to 50. So right in between here and here for resistance. And Solo's moving up, but it's still nasty. This is a very difficult one as well. Right near that 650, right? See how it's rejecting right at 650? And it's got this area right between that 650 to 726. It's a little bit... I don't like that pattern. You can see right here, DCIX right at that 200 SMA. If it can clear it, watch out for 250 resistance. And I'm potentially like an NIHD right now. So let me put DCIX over here. We're going to keep an eye on DCIX. If it can hold, again, be aware of kind of a head and shoulders-ish pattern. And also be careful right here around that 240s. So if it can clear here, watch for resistance around 245 to 250. NIHD was one that I'm keeping an eye on, right? So it kind of has that falling wedge-ish pattern. Again, under the radar, not a ton of volume, but it's something to look at and be like, okay, let me keep an eye on this one just to see if it can stay out of this falling wedge, if it can kind of break out and hold. And then also you can see some pre-market resistance right around that 670s marker and then that 685-ish marker. So again, just something to keep an eye on. And you'll see right here at DCIX, again, now it's forming that right shoulder-ish here. So you can see kind of a head up here, left shoulder, right shoulder. And look, where did it reject? Right below that 245-ish level. Gotta pay attention to these patterns. Very, very important. All right, let me pull up my morning scan. Anybody know why that does that? I have my screens that just randomly blank out with the HDMI thing. That's super annoying. It does it for no reason. And you guys techie people that have like your screens just go dark on you like that, it's very weird. So at the moment, DCIX not looking so hot. NIHD struggling. Yeah, I don't know why, Hayden. I have my multiple screens set up, and then just for whatever reason, it's like seems like once a day, they just randomly go black and then they flicker back on. But my bottom right one right now is just completely dark. And anytime that happens, I always got to restart my computer. Super annoying. I have no clue why it does that. You guys got to remember for me to ask our tech support guy, Dan. Check your HDMI cable or your graphic card settings. I mean, I always check the cable. The cable's fine. Like when I restart the computer, it'll work just fine. All I have to do is typically restart the computer and then it works. So I don't know why it does that. And yeah, Solo's not looking so hot, guys. Nothing's really looking so hot at the moment. Let me pull up another scan, a bearish scan right now. Yeko might be one to look at. Kind of has a descending triangle-ish pattern. Kind of a descending triangle-ish pattern. Kind of a symmetrical triangle right here forming. Keep an eye on this one. Watch for a possible breakout over that 650-ish area. If it can. Let's see. Let's look at a 5-minute. A little bit choppy right over, so keep an eye on that that 50 SMA. Not loving it, but oh, that's a 15-minute. Let me look at a 5-minute. Yeah, so it's rejecting right at angular resistance, pulling back a little bit. You can see moving average lines are crossing, so if it could stay above that 650 area. Kind of right in here. It needs to get above that 670s as well. Oops. Firmware and or drivers if it's a Windows issue. I'll have to ask Dan. I don't know why it does that. So let me go back over here to Yakko. So Yakko has a history of pumping and dumping. Keeping an eye right here. It's still a little bit, my chart's a little bit messy right now. Let me look in here a little bit more. So it is kind of choppy looking. It needs to get ideally above that 670s range. Might be building a flat top. Again, got to watch this, keep an eye on it. It's a little bit shaky, kind of like a roller coaster right now. DCIX, see again, right? So right shoulder, left shoulder, head, kind of has that head and shoulders, not looking so good. I'm going to move Yakko over to the side. Again, I'm going to look at some of the ones. I have my dip buy scan set up right now, so seeing, oh, there's only 2 on there to look at. Not looking so hot. Let's take a look at UUU. That's hitting trade ideas. As you can see, guys, very sloppy patterns going on right now. Even this one with Yakko, keep an eye on it. It's still super overextended. Might be building a flat top, but it's all, see that right there, that 670s area? So it has kind of a flat top, and this thing's just nasty. Just be careful with this one. 670s support now. It's just hard as heck, like, to trade this. Look at all those high wave and long-legged candles. They're nasty looking. But don't be surprised, right? See that, right? It's going to pull right back down. UUU. Another one's a little bit all over the place. Hold on. Stock Ninja says, when that happens, turn off first. Also update the video card drivers if they're older. I have an old. You turn the monitors off and on? Let me try and see if that works. I feel like I've tried that before and it doesn't work. I'm doing what you said, Stock Ninja, and let's see if that works. Yeah, it doesn't work. I just turned the monitor off and on, and I still got it gives me a blue screen for a moment and then a black screen. Super annoying. I'm going to go back over to Solo. So keep an eye on $7 resistance here on Yakko. Patterns all over the place with Yakko right now. It's a little bit like a roller coaster. Solo is hitting at the moment. Careful of a possible double top formation forming. Needs to get above that $7 in that 726 range. Let me do this. 726. About $7. Might be doing a flat top or a possible double top. So this is going to build either an ascending triangle or a double top failure. See some support right down in here. Look at that, right below that 726 marker. Right there. Double top right now failing, not good. So as you guys can see, Solo moved back up to pre-market high, rejected right below pre-market high, right over in here. Now you have kind of a double top formation. However, we got to see if the moving average lines will catch up, possibly form an ascending triangle. Got to wait and see if it can go and break out. Got to be, it's kind of nasty with this high wave candle right here below $7. And Yeko is retesting high a day around those 670s. Might get a bounce here. Still a little bit crazy of a pattern, but so keeping an eye on Solo still, see if this one can go and get above 726. If it can break 726, you want to see it hold. So now it's breaking now. You want to see it hold right at 726. Don't want to see it do that. Look at how quick it moves up like that, right? So that's a 20-something cent move in seconds right here. So now 750. I would also put $8 would definitely, if you get above 750s, $8 would be next. But I want to see it hold that 726 area. And right now, see that? Right up here. So this candle right here, $7 to $7.48. That 1 minute candle is almost a 50-cent candle. Remember, low float stock. So at this point, got to be very careful. One up, broke. Let me see on a 5 minute. Yeah, I'd watch out for it now because it might be doing a head and shoulders, and here it goes right back down. I'm going to move Solo off to the side, see if there's anything else to take a look at right now. So now you got to be careful of a head, left shoulder, possible head and shoulders formation forming. Let's take a look at some of these over here. So I'm looking at the dip eye kind of scanner for ones that are selling off. This is where I would start to be like, okay, maybe, but this is a weird, crazy looking, long-legged doji candle. You can kind of draw it like, I'm not a huge fan of this. I'd like a smaller candle, but you can see kind of like right here, it might be bear flagging back to the moving average line. It's a little bit closer than I want. Let me see. A little bit too close on the moving average lines, but something like this, I'd like to see it much better looking, but you know, with room, like I'd like to see it further away down here, back to the moving average lines for a possible dip buy. So not loving it at the moment. Salt is hitting trade ideas. So salt is caught right between the 9, the 13, and the 20. So I was liking the 5 minute, but it's really near resistance. So you had this kind of bull flag. It's really a little bit closer to resistance than I want. I see UUU. Man, this one's all over, a roller coaster all over the place today. I'm going to put UUU to the side. This one's a little bit tougher. You're seeing this is obviously pump trading really quickly right now. And if you go to a 5-minute chart, the setup is this is just crazy roller coaster. You got to be super quick on these two right here. These two nasty looking high wave candles. Let me look at Blue Apron. That one looks like it's going across as well. APRN. So we got pre-market high around 140. Kind of choppy looking right now. Let's look at a 5-minute. So Blue Apron might be getting over the 50 or the 20 EMA on the daily. So this one might have a possible reversal going on. Let's look at the hourly chart. It is above the 200 SMA on the hourly. If it can get above that 140s area, keep an eye next up on that 150. So this one might be having a little bit of a reversal going on. So this is one to keep an eye on. Maybe you can scalp. Get a small scalp on Blue Apron. It's a bigger company as well. Gotten hammered, so this might be doing a little bit of a reversal. So maybe one to keep an eye on. So with Blue Apron, be careful. Either it's going to form a possible double top failure, or it might be starting to form kind of a cup and handle-ish pattern. Again, needs to get above that 140s. It is overextended, so don't be surprised if it pulls back. And if it can get above 140s and hold, then watch out for 150 resistance. I'm going to move Blue Apron over. So keep an eye and see if it can break that 141 and hold. It is a bit overextended, so be very careful. Again, looking at the pattern, possible cup and handle forming. Again, needs to get above that 141 and hold. Then watch out for 150. So now see if it holds as it's getting above. Let me look at DCIX. And not liking DCIX. It is kind of holding support area. It's just kind of messy right now. Watch for the retest of 141. See if it holds here. So it kind of has a cup pattern right here forming. Retesting. Needs to hold. And obviously it's struggling right now. It's not holding. That's where you got to be careful, guys, right? So always keep an eye on these patterns, and when they break out, watch and see if they will hold to give you a possible confirmation to take a trade. This one right here was overextended and it's struggling. Doesn't mean it's over with, but now you got to watch and see if it'll form a handle and get back up there. It's not looking so hot at the moment. Zoldi, let me take a look at GNW. High a day 444, trading sideways. Possibly it's a little bit choppy. Obviously needs to get above that 450, right near that level, $half amount. Kind of a shooting star candle. Not liking that at the moment. Where is it on the daily? Man, needs to get above that 450 level, near resistance, all within the 460s as well. Not know if I like that one though. Not sure if I like that. Let's see DCIX. So still has that kind of that head and shoulders, head, left shoulder, right shoulder. And with apron, might be doing that cup and handle now. Gotta watch and see. It's still a little bit too sloppy for me though. So it's got to contend with this nasty looking 5-minute candle. So it might be doing kind of a cup and handle. It's just kind of, it's got to struggle with all this right in here, this 140s level. So I'm looking for stocks that are selling off, guys, now for a possible dip buy. Like I start to like watch this, right? I want to see price get far away from these moving average lines. Watch for a possible reversal on a 5-minute. So this is where I start to keep an eye. I start to take a look, but I want to see some room. So you can see near support level right now, these 150s level. But the only problem is there's like not a lot of room. Just because kind of has a descending. Look at that. See, this is what happens, right? You guys gotta, this is where you gotta be careful listening to people that pump up sectors, especially pot stocks. TRTC was supposed to be like the next big thing, right? This thing popped up to $11 and now it's down to $1 again. You can see it's just pumping and dumping. Buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Buy the rumor, sell the news. Buy the rumor, sell the news. Buy the rumor, sell the news. We should make a jingle about that. That'd be a good jingle. So keep an eye on APRN still. It's still a little bit sloppy for me. Again, has to contend and get above these areas right here. And that 142, but keep an eye on the pattern. Let me go back to TRTC. So this is what I'm starting to look for, but the problem, obviously, I want to show you guys is that it's just not a lot of room. So even 164 to 168, it's not that much to profit potential, but this is what I'm starting to look for the reversals. Yeah, I know, agreed. Story of my life. Let me look at CREG real quick. CREG's near the base of a kind of a descending triangle-ish pattern. So this, again, this is something that I start to look at a little bit more. I don't love it right now, but I start to see, okay, on the 5 minute, is it going to hold support back to the moving average lines? I'd like to see a little bit more room, but at least you can start looking at these candles where they're like smaller risk. So this is where I start to look. Keep an eye on apron right here. Kind of forming that handle, see if it can get above that 142 area. So I like to see more room to the moving average lines, but I like to ideally see these smaller candles to risk off of. Watch that 142. Apron's still on trade ideas. Needs to get above 142, see if it can hold. Then look at that 150s area. Not much going on today, guys. Kind of crappy looking day. I'm going to look at NIHD, though. This one might be creeping up. So NIHD, kind of right near this falling wedge pattern right here. Right near resistance. See if this thing gets a pop and can break out of this. And look at that double top failure. Right at APRN. Still couldn't get above that 142. So NIHD got some resistance around that 670s marker. Kind of has an inverse head and shoulders-ish pattern as it's starting to try to break out of that falling wedge. Still a little bit sloppy, but look at some resistance right around that 670s area. Let me look at DCIX. Yeah, still kind of sloppy looking. Let's see. Looks like GCAP is hitting trade ideas. Let's take a look at that one. That one just had a flat top break right up here, 755. Look out for right there resistance around that 762. Needs to get above this area or else it'll be a double top failure. So 755 support. Resistance around 762. And look around that 769 as well. Let's look at the daily. Kind of has an inverse head and shoulders-ish pattern. And then you got that 776-ish pattern. So it does kind of have a like cup and handle-ish thing going on. Right here. So if it can break out, this might be forming a possible kind of left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Might be doing an inverse head and shoulders break. Not a lot of volume, about 394,000. Not too bad, though, to keep an eye on. So this is one to keep an eye on with the pattern. Needs to get above that 762, and then you can see it needs to break out. Lots of resistance above, like the possible daily setup, but nice job, Hayden. I don't like the choppiness of GCAP right now. I'm going to put on a 5-minute and take a look at this one. So it is getting above that 762. It's just a bit overextended for my liking. So pattern's very soft. So the daily pattern I like. It's just this intraday is just really nasty right now. Watch for a possible reversal setting up here. Possible doji candle reversal. And look out for solo. That might be failing neckline support. Let's look at PTI. So be careful with GCAP at the moment. Yeah, PTI has kind of a V bottom or a possible cup and handle. Needs to get above that 50 and right around that 620. CREG doing memes. CREG, that's funny. That's hilarious. Learn the market, my son. But what's the shadowy place over there? Bitcoin, do not go there. Oh, I love it. Guys, there's a lot of garbage today. Garbaccio. Again, this might be a good break to remind you guys, if you've been following us or newer or wherever you're at in the process, you guys will see day trading these penny stocks has been really difficult lately. You might get 1 or 2 days a week that are decent, and then it just gets really choppy and messy. So this is a very, very, very important or good time for you to learn about options. Right over here, we have our options course for those of you guys that have not taken it yet. You can go right over here to take our options course. The basic options course gives you the basics of trading options, and then you'll see on our YouTube channel, we've been posting a lot. Let's go over here to YouTube, Bullish Bears. Videos. So you're going to notice myself and Melrod have been kind of tag teaming with our options videos. So what I'm doing, so right now we have our basic options course over here. And you'll notice him and I have been tag teaming. I'm redoing and updating the videos. So the videos are decent for what they're at right now. So you can go and watch those and learn a lot of the basics of options. But I'm coming along with Melrod, and you'll start to see right over in here, I started doing options trading, stock. So what are options, understanding options. So you're going to see I'm doing kind of these ones right here and then call versus put. So you'll see I'm kind of doing some of the basics. So I'm redoing the videos, doing some of the basics. And then Melrod's doing the videos for those of you guys that have like a basic concept and understanding of options. Then you want to start looking at these ones that we're also putting out, like selling options versus buying options, bull puts, bear calls, iron condor. There's more that we're going to be posting probably today, the next few days. So you're going to see we're kind of doing simultaneous new posts on options. And it's very, very important, guys. If you don't know options, now is a great time, especially when the markets are just super crappy and not doing much of anything, especially with these pump and dumps. It's a good time to sometimes just sit back, not trade, and study and learn a new skill set. And options, and you're going to see more and more. We're going to keep showing you guys more and more along the way. You're going to see we're putting out the new courses and the new content, but you can take options, and there's so many, again, options that you can do with options, right? So you can actually You can, go long term on options. You can swing trade options, but you could also day trade options. So you can go in and trade stocks. So if these penny stock sectors it's just kind of looking crappy, nothing really going on, you can go in and trade big companies like Apple and Google or Netflix or Facebook or Twitter, whatever's, the bigger cap companies, and you can day trade them. And let me just go in over here, see if there's an example I can show you guys. Let's just see it. And the patterns are also going to be a lot more reliable, less pumping and dumping. It doesn't mean they won't dump, but a stock like Best Buy or Target is going to be much more reliable to trade than like DCIX or Tops, right? A little bit less pumping and dumping, and you can trade the patterns more. Let me just see something like see if there's anything running today on the bigger cap stocks. Again, many of these stocks run with the market, so if the penny stocks are not running so hot today, probably these are not going to run that hot as well. But just you start to this is still, you can see kind of a bull flag right here. $72 again, up to $72.50. Again, I'm not saying this is a huge move today by any means, but you start to see a little bit more reliable-ish patterns that you can trade and go in. You can day trade options on these bigger stocks, and you can gear up. If you buy 10 options contracts and you make 50 cents on it, obviously there's lots of moving parts to options, but we can make potentially a few $100s rather than having to go in and trade and scalp really quickly on a Tops or really quickly on a DCIX or trying to trade like this. It just gets really messy. So we highly encourage you guys, take our options course and really pay attention to our options videos. Melrod's putting out literally gold on these options videos, and he's teaching, again, bull put spreads, bear calls, iron condors, ways to really be able to trade this market in these bigger stocks that, if you're not able to choose the direction, you can do something like an iron condor and you can make money. So if you have a smaller account, options are a great way to help grow your account. Again, you don't want to just go buy straight calls and straight puts, right? You got to be very careful doing that, but you can trade option spreads and really grow your account. So pay attention to the videos that we're posting because they're really good for options. So you're going to see us doing a lot more with options. But this is kind of like the idea. I'm not saying I love Merck right now, but at least I can kind of see okay, there's kind of like a bull flag here on a 5-minute. You can see maybe forming a bull flag on a 5-minute. Again, very overextended, but you start to see more of these types of patterns. You're welcome, JS. Then I can kind of go in. Let me just look at Merck for a second. I say, Merck has kind of a head and shoulders-ish pattern, so I don't really like the pattern overall. It has a head, left shoulder, right shoulder. Hold on, come on. So again, I'm not loving it at the moment, but you start to see more of the patterns are a little bit better to trade on these bigger stocks. Just less you don't see this as much, right? You get less of this garbage. You start to see more of just better patterns. Typically roadkill, yes. You obviously, if you trade liquid options, so we try to trade, high liquid options, bigger name stocks, like you can see over here, like your Nikes, your Best Buys, your Targets, your Verizons, your Pfizers, right? Typically stocks like that, and less so like to show you guys here I'd like to see a little bit tighter bid-ask spread. Oh, here we go, over here. I'd like to see a little bit tighter, but it's right around so you can see 3 cents, 3 cents. I like to see 1 to 2 ideally, but this is the arena that you start to play in. You know, you can see lots of, not a ton, but a decent amount of open interest, a tighter bid-ask spread. Now it's starting to open up a little bit here, but I'd like to see a tighter bid-ask spread. And then you can go in and, you know, again, for instance, like a target, you know, again, again, still teaching you guys more and more about options. Again, nothing's really going on right now in the market, so I'll just keep talking to you guys about options. Each one of these prices that you see here on the bid-ask side of things is the equivalent to 1 options contract, and 1 options contract is the equivalent of 100 shares, right? So if you see $2.28, that's times 100. So you can trade or control 100 shares of Target for, what is that, $228, right? So, you know, if you wanted to purchase 10 options contracts, you know, that would control 1,000 potential shares, right? Times 100, or so. My brain is fried. 100 times 10, that'd be 1,000. So 1,000 times $2.32, that'd be 2,300, right? So if you were to kind of come into Target, again, there's so many strategies you can do. You can do long term. This is a shorter term. This has 18 days left to expiration. So it's kind of a mid range that you can trade. But you can come in, and I'm not saying to trade Target right now, but just showing you guys, you know, you can possibly swing trade or scalp or, you know, day trade. This is the call side. You believe it's going up. Put side, you believe the stock's going down. And then you can see your probabilities right here of in the money. And obviously the more out of the money, the less likely the trade's going to go in your favor. So this is just with showing you how to buy straight calls or buy straight puts. You could also straight sell calls and sell puts. You got to be careful. Those are naked strategies. Open you up to a lot more risk. But again, you know, you could come in and you could day trade something like this, right? So if you wanted to come in and everything, the chart's setting up perfectly the way you want, you can come in and right click and you can buy, and you can go over here and buy as many options contracts as you want, go in, confirm your order, send, and then you could try to, you know, you can day trade it. So, you know, kind of the same type of mentality that you would with the pump and dump stocks, but you can trade these for, again, obviously much less. And so, like, this is Target. It's a big name company compared to, let's say, DCIX. So if I was to go and trade DCIX, which is a crappy shipping company, again, you can make good money on the pump, but you might only be able to hold that trade for seconds, right? And you're putting $1,000 into, you know, or 1,000 shares of DCIX at $2.21. That's $2,100. And you'll see with DCIX today, you know, this thing, again, seconds. You could make 40 cents in seconds, or you could lose 40 cents in seconds. So again, this is just to show you a way that you can go in and control. You can trade companies like DCIX and get in and out, or you can come over and put that same $2,200 in on a company like Target and trade it, and maybe you make scalp 30 or 40 cents and just buy and sell your options contracts to somebody else. So you can take these contracts. You guys don't have to exercise, right? So you have a couple options with options. You can exercise the contract and own the shares of the company, or you could just buy and sell your options contracts, right? So, and that's what many people do. They come in, you could day trade kind of at the money options contracts come in, you know, you can see right here, put your couple grand in, you know, go and, you know, purchase your options contracts. It goes, I don't know, let me see what Target's doing right now, but, you know, maybe, oh, that's GCAP. So, you know, you can see, obviously, it's doing this double bottom break right now, maybe moving up, but not loving it right now. But if you were to get it, you know, let's say you had gotten in, you know, back here, so 83, you know, let's say you got in at the break of this double bottom right here, you know, 83.50 up to 84.25, You know, you could scalp potentially 75 cents. Obviously, there's many other factors with options, but if you made between 50 to 75 cents on your options contract, again, in theory, because again, many different moving parts, you know, let's say 50 cents times 1,000 options contract, or times 10 options contracts, that could be potential of a $500 move on a bigger name stock, right? Let me just reset my charts here. I'm not going to look. I'll keep talking some more about some options here for you guys right now, some of the bigger stocks, because there's not much going on today. What the heck? So Bond says, can you talk about the risk of buying a call versus selling a put? So call side on the left side, put side over here. Your probabilities of in the money are over here. So these are your percentages of the trade going in the money and having intrinsic value and being worth something. So you can see the more in the money you go, these shaded purple areas, the more likely you have of making a profit. Right? The more out of the money, the less likely. But the majority, remember, the majority of options expire worthless. So you are exposing yourself if you buy one of these options contracts. If you're purchasing them, you know, there is still right here 40%. And then you can see even up here, 65%. That still means there's a 35% chance if you just bought a naked call on this, there's still a 35% chance that this does not work in your favor, which means what you put into this options contract has the ability to expire worthless, right? So if this does not go your way, you can see here 35% chance that you're going to lose this entire cost of the trade, right? And you can see even out of the money, the more out of the money you go, the odds are more not in your favor. And what happens is many new traders will come in, will learn options, right? They learn calls, they learn puts, right? So you start to, again, lots of moving parts with options. So it just like the world of options hits a lot of people like, oh, wow, this is super cool. I can learn options. I can buy calls and puts. It's so much cheaper. Cool. So I'm just going to go in and buy a call or buy a put. And oh, this area right here, $700 is much cheaper than $1,200 or $1,300. So I'm going to buy these, right? And many traders, they don't realize the odds are not in their favor. That, you know, there's less than a 50% chance that you're going to make any money on this contract. And that's where many new traders just come in. They buy straight calls or straight puts, and they'll buy out of the money out here because they're cheaper, and then expires worthless. And then they say, oh, options are risky. I don't want to trade options. You could lose your shirt. Well, yes, if you trade options that way, but no, overall, that's not how, like, we don't advise trading that way, right? The big money, these guys, when you're seeing all of this, this is not like, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of new traders that are just coming in and buying straight calls and straight puts, but these are a whole bunch of different option strategies where the big time money's at. Then people are coming in and trading spreads, right? They're trading, you know, bull call, or bull put, bear calls, iron condors, iron butterflies, strangles, straddles. There are lots of different option strategies to help protect yourself and limit your risk. So that, again, what I just told you guys was buying calls, right? Or buying puts. Same thing over on the other side here. These are in the money puts. So puts mean you believe the stock's going down. These are the odds right here if you buy a straight put. So it's kind of the inverse of the call side. The more out of the money you go on the put side, the less likely or the less odds are in your favor. Now, what you can do is you can also sell options contracts. So you can see the probability of a stock of this put going in the money right over here are low, right? So you can go and look, okay, well, you can go and sell these options contracts to somebody else, and the option's more likely to potentially go into your favor, selling options contracts to people that are out of the money. But again, lots of risk. So with buying calls and puts, you can only lose the money that you invest, right? So whatever you purchase, you can only lose what your yeah, my bear. So as close to 30% as possible. So, you know, you're looking for a probability of in the money as close to 30% as possible. Sometimes it's not going to always be perfect. But with selling calls and puts, if you're, you know, if you're selling, my brain, I got to explain this properly for you guys. So when you're selling a call, what happens is that stock can go up to infinity, right? You don't know what it can go up to. So you can lose a lot more than you potentially put into the trade because the price of the stock, like with Apple, who knows what it can go up to, right? So it can go up to infinity. So your risk is undefined. When selling puts, it's still kind of undefined, but technically a stock can't go below zero. So there is technically kind of a cap, but it's still super risky if you're just selling them naked, right? Buying calls and puts naked by themselves, not in a spread. Again, the odds are in your favor selling to somebody else, but you're also taking on more risk because you can lose more than you put into a trade. Buying a straight call or put, obviously the odds are more in your favor the more in the money you go, right? But you could also lose your entire investment this way as well. But that's where you want to learn strategies like I showed you guys earlier on our website. Right over in here, you'll start to see these videos that we're putting out on bull put spreads, bear call spreads, iron condors. These are very, very popular trading strategies. So instead of buying, let's say, dip buying and buying a call, you know, at the bottom of, you know, stock selling off and you believe it's going up, you might purchase a bull put spread so you help limit your risk. So let's go over to, let's see. Let's look at Apple for a second. This might be a bad example. This thing's really trading sideways. You might do an iron condor or an iron butterfly when something's trading sideways like this. But if you're looking at a, let's see, like Target, let's see if one that. So maybe like, for instance, as you see, let's say you believe Target's going to go up. Instead of buying a straight call, which could get risky because it could get chopped and get messed around right in here, maybe you buy a potential bull put spread where you give yourself a chance. Like it's again, instead of just buying a straight call, you're limiting your risk. So let's say you're kind of going down like here, you say, you know, Target is going to be in this kind of range here. If you were to do a bull call or bull put spread, maybe you go in here and you go to the trade tab and you say, okay, I might have to open up more. Man, there's a lot of. So maybe you look right in between over in here, that 70% ratio. Maybe right in here, 82 call strike. Let's see where that puts me. So you can come in and potentially just go right over here, right click, sell, vertical. And you start to see these are credit spreads. You can adjust your call and put. So you can right here sell a put and then buy a put for protection and then obviously take in a credit. But again, let me just see. Let me just pull this up here. Again, not a lot of profit here, where this is where you can go in. You can also purchase more contracts as well. It's just, again, you're buying, instead of just buying a call or buying a put, you're, you know, you're selling a put, buying a put, or reverse with a call. And again, you do iron condors as well. I'm taking you guys down a rabbit trail right now because there's so much. It's so hard to just like in one just kind of screen share, just like, oh, okay, just expect you to remember all this. But you know, that's why we say take our options course, watch those videos. We kind of break them down step by step. Let's see what CREG posted here. Well, there you go. This is that for applying CREG for in Thinkorswim? By the way, if you're looking to trade options, I'm not saying to lie when you apply to trade options, but you have to lie to when you're applying with your broker. You got to say you're pretty experienced or very experienced or to get approved. But without going into all the crazy spreads, right? So that's my whole point being with what I was just kind of showing you guys is that when the market is just crappy or trading in a range, people are profiting when the market, you know, like is going up, down, or trading sideways. And that's where you can go longer term strategies. You can go shorter term strategies, but you could also day trade. You know, you could also come in and day trade options and get in and get out on options and do really well. All right. So if the day trading setup is not so great, then maybe you're going to do, you know, a strategy where the market's trading sideways. Maybe you're going to do a iron condor, an iron butterfly, you know. So there's several different strategies that you can trade with, but that's where, again, we're a very diverse trading company. We're teaching you these things because if we're only teaching you penny stocks and the market's just crappy like it is now, then you can sit on your hands and you got to wait for it to choose a direction. It's been super crazy. Like if you look at the market lately, right here, like look at this. This is just, it's crazy. It's just so hard to trade this. You get maybe one really good day here. Maybe, I mean, this is showing a good day right now, but it's not been great at the moment today. I haven't seen many good setups. You're welcome, guys. That's the other thing too, guys. You can come in. So there's Rose. She's teaching trading futures in the futures room, but you could also come in and trade SPY contracts. So you can trade the SPY and do the whole same thing. Look at all the liquidity. Look at all this. So this is just people buying and selling the SPY every day. So you guys, you know, that if you're frustrated trading penny stocks, you can come in here and just buy options contracts on the SPY. You know, and you can do, again, so you can day trade them. So let's say you're, you know, looking at the chart of SPY. Pull up a 5-minute chart. Patterns have not been great by any means. But like, so for instance, maybe you look at this and you're like, okay, maybe SPY is forming a bull flag here on a 5-minute. Maybe it's setting for a possible breakout. Let's see some resistance. So maybe you look at this, not saying I don't love the pattern right now, but maybe you're like, oh, okay, this might be an inverse head and shoulders, might be sending up a bull flag on a 5-minute. If so, you might think, let's say this may have a chance from 270s. Again, this is very... Oh, that's awesome. Look at this. This is a great meme. Yeah. Oh, Angel, you should grab that. That's a great meme if you're listening, Angel. That's classic. Creed, send that meme to Angel if you can, buddy. That's epic. So this is where you could come in here again. I don't like this per se, but just again, show you an example. If you're thinking, oh, that's a possible bull flag, you think it's going to break out, has a chance to go up potentially $1, $1 to $2. This is where you might come in and you might say, well, okay, you know, maybe I'll go get an at the money contract, let's say, of the SPY. You can see they're going to be about $520 to $590. But for example, you could come into, you know, right in here and say $580 times 10. That's $5,800, right? So you're coming in, you're going to be trading a big, you're trading the SPY, right? You're not trading DCIX or tops. So maybe you come in, you're like, okay, I'll put in $5,800 into SPY to make the potential. Let's say, again, there's lots of moving parts to options, but it's not like, oh, just because it goes up $1, you'll make $1. But let's say, you know, it goes up $1 and you capitalize and make 60 to 70 cents on it. You know, for instance, you're coming in, you're putting in $5,800, day traded options on it. Maybe you made $600. So the risk reward on that, like coming in trading something really big like the SPY, and you're, you know, putting in $5,800 to make $600, let's say, not so bad, right? So some people would rather take a risk on something like this than they would putting in and buying 2,000 shares of DCIX that could get in a halt and drop or pump or dump or get caught in halts. You're not going to get caught in halts with the SPY over here. The thing that does happen, though, is if you do choose the wrong direction, you don't get in time, you don't limit your risk, these options could expire worthless if you're not careful. So that's why we're saying don't just go in and just blindly trade. But you know, you're going to still have the same type of risk management day trading options, right? If the trade goes against you, you got to cut your losses. Take your losses, you know. But, you know, don't just hold. You still have the option to hold a little bit longer, but you got to be careful, right? You got to just know your risk. So that was just, again, with day trading options. There's so many other strategies, like going in, you can see all these different strategies. But like with anything, you have to give it the time it deserves. With learning options, it takes a lot of time, but if you learn it, you look at how much leverage you can use your money as leverage to trade really big name companies, including the actual overall market. So if you have a smaller account, $5,000 or $10,000, you can come in and build it trading big name companies. Nice. Great job. Thanks, Angel. Shout out to Angel for those of you guys who have been watching her videos lately. People love her videos. Angel's awesome. She does a lot of great things with the Bullish Bears, and pay attention to her videos and show her some love. She's always doing her best to help us grow as a community. Let me see if there's anything more to look at. We'll go back to some of the small cap stocks today and see if anything is worth looking at to finish off the day. KNDI, that just hit trade ideas and now that is halted. So this is where, again, like I was saying to you guys, penny cap or small cap or penny stocks, they're very lucrative. But again, they also have lots of choppiness, stuff like this. They pump and then they dump many of them, and you have to be very quick. Like right here, you see a 1 minute. It's a 1 minute candle. It can go right up and then dump right back down. You're welcome, Angel. So again, you have to be super quick. And there's not really a right or wrong way. Some people like just love trading penny stocks, and you can get in and out, and then you can, again, use your money as leverage, scalp your I was going to say 30 or 40 cents. That doesn't always happen, but your 10, 15 cents, buy a few thousand shares, get out, and be done with your day. Or you can come in and you can day trade options and trade some of the bigger name companies. And instead of being in the stock for maybe seconds, you might be able to be in a few minutes or a half hour or an hour if you're day trading, or so you can kind of stay in a little bit longer if you'd like and let the patterns play out. When you see a reversal candlestick, then you can get out. Oh, let's look at alts. It's a little bit choppy. I don't like that setup. Actually, let me go back to some of the bigger ones right now. I'll show you guys. Let's see if I can find one for a possible dip by a reversal. Okay, so this is where Target. So right here, I can see Target is building a top right here. So you can see kind of a double bottom break. Maybe forming a flat top. Kind of a double bottom here. Might do a cup and handle or flat top. So I can see the patterns a lot more identifiable. I can go to the daily. See again on the daily, maybe doing a reversal. If you can get above that 84.50, this has room up to that 50 SMA around 86 bucks. If it can get above 84.50. Let's look at the hourly. Still a little choppy, but it's above the 200. So this is where I start to look at on this and say, well, okay, if I was to trade a stock like Target, I can see the patterns. You guys see it's just a lot less pumping and dumping. You can see a double bottom. You can see a possible cup formation forming. The other thing is obviously you got to be careful of this rising wedge pattern right here. This might squeeze and fall back down. Trading sideways. Again, needs to get above the 84.50 area, but if so, it has room for $1 to $1.50 potential move. Then you can decide, okay, would I want to day trade that, do a short-term swing trade? At least you can start seeing these patterns, and they're just more reliable to look at. If you guys noticed, a lot of these are doing, and that's the other thing too, these stocks, they run with the market, and you'll see many of them have very, very similar patterns. I'm going to show you guys in 1 second here. So if you look right over here, you'll see kind of a double bottom-ish or a possible cup and handle. Be careful up here at the top. So you see that pattern, and then you can see not really the same, but kind of a similar pattern here. Kind of another similar, right? You guys see, not exactly a double bottom, but they're kind of forming double bottoms into cup and handles. Again, another one right here. You guys see it? Right here. Right here. Not exactly with Twitter. Twitter might be interesting right now. Twitter might be setting up for a possible ascending triangle. Oops. So watching Twitter right now, again, might be building kind of an ascending triangle. But again, be careful of that double top as well. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it right here. Let's look at the daily. Don't really love the pattern on the daily. Just showing you guys, as you see bigger names, you can start to see the patterns just a little bit more. They give you a chance to trade them more. Again, you can see Target. This kind of had a double bottom as well. So you guys see all of those. I just showed you several of them that have very similar patterns going on. So this might be interesting. So DWDP, what is that? DuPont? What is this one? Yep, DuPont or DuPont. So this one's been selling off, really oversold, possible dip buy, double bottom formation here. So this one might be doing a possible reversal. Again, over the 50 SMA, room. So there's room up to the 200 on the hourly. Let's look at the daily. Obviously, you got to be careful of that. 55. $ish. And then, I mean, there is some resistance right around that 50. 53.50-ish. So you see kind of a double bottom break, possible cup and handle, you know, but this is so this is where you can kind of look and you can say, okay, you know, most people don't have, you know, if you wanted to trade 1,000 shares of, was it DuPont or DuPont, you know, most people don't have $53,000. Like, again, let's say you believe this has a chance to make, you know, $1.50, but you wanted to capture a possible dollar move of that. Do you want to put $53,000 in for the potential to make $1,000? Not really. That's kind of a lot of risk, right? But let's say you believe, okay, this is possibly setting up for a reversal, has room to run. Maybe you want to try and capture a possible dollar move of it. If you go to look at the options, you can start to see over here. Now, here is where you got to be. This is a perfect example. This is where you don't necessarily always want to go and trade options. When you start to see, you can see the spreads, you know, 30 cents, 25 cents, 21 cents. That's where it starts to get a little bit where you're starting to lose a lot more money right off the bat, where it's not as liquid. So you want to be careful that just because it's cheap, oh, okay, this might reverse, just be aware of these kind of these wider bid-ask spreads. I like to have them be a lot more tighter, so you're not losing more money right off the bat. But if you're coming in to potentially day trade something like this, you're getting in, getting out. Again, just be aware. Just like with anything, if you're buying, you know, a wider bid-ask spread on a low float stock, you know, be aware that you're going to be down right off the bat. But I'd like to see ideally a little bit tighter than that. But yeah, Solo looks like a invert or a head and shoulders about to break down. Let me take a look at that one. Timber. There's your head, left shoulder, kind of right shoulder, neckline. Not looking so hot. And wouldn't be surprised if that falls right back down to the gap. Let me take a look again at KNDI. Yeesh. That looks nasty. DGLY. You ain't got no alibi. Your digital ally. All right, so that one's hitting trade ideas. History of pumping and dumping needs to get above that 325-ish area. If so, you can see it's just a very choppy chart. Just be careful. Make sure it reverses, Lone. And there goes DGLY. Just wait for a possible pump on or a dump on this one. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a halt or a dump coming on DGLY. That's hitting trade ideas right now. Tweezer tops right down here to the dump. Pump. Dump. So guys, if you catch this really quick, you know, a stock like this, 306 up to 340s, that's a great move. But most new traders catch it up here, and then they hit the dump, and then they wonder what the heck happened. Hotkeys, right? Get in your hotkeys, out. In, out. Let me take a look at PTI. Possibly moving up here. See if we can get above that 629-ish area right in here as well. 630. If so, it might have some room up to that 655-ish area. Keep an eye on FRO right now. FRO from the watch list might be moving up. So FRO, kind of a double bottom possibly. See if we can get above that 725 marker and look for that 734 resistance. Again, not a lot of volume, 250,000, but not bad to look at. Again, a higher float. But guys, there was not much to look at today. Really kind of crappy day. But hopefully, again, with the options concept that I was talking to you guys about, this is where, again, options allows you the ability to make money in any type of market, right? So when you're, trading small cap or penny stocks like this, your options are, if you're long bias, you have to get the days that you can go long. On days like today, might be more difficult to go long. That's where, if you're long bias, you can also look to potentially dip buy. But as I was showing you earlier, I wasn't seeing many setups that were really good for dip buying. So today might be a day where you're just sitting on your hands, not trading, right? So you can either go long or go short with penny stocks. Again, with penny stocks, you have to have a broker that gives you the ability to short. And, so there's limitations with that. But again, you can definitely make money trading penny stocks. We're showing you this every day. Again, you'll been seeing for a while now. You seem to get 1 or 2 good days a week for the past, seemed like a while now. Lots of indecision. Obviously, the market's got to choose a direction. Lots of stuff going on. Midterms next week. So hopefully the market will choose at least a direction at some point after that's over. But in the meantime, you can come in and you can trade the SPY or other big name companies, and you could, day trade the SPY, day trade options contracts with the SPY up or down. You can do spreads as well. You can see very, very high activity, and spreads decent. 5 cents here, pretty decent. High liquidity, so you're not going to probably have to worry about getting in and out of an options contract. You can day trade them, you can swing trade them, you could trade them sideways as well. So with options, it allows you the ability to go bullish, bearish, or even neutral. Lots of different strategies to trade with options. Lots more liquidity, and gives you, again, options. So that's why it's very important, guys. If you're newer, or you're kind of like, hey, you've learned one strategy, you're kind of frustrated a little bit with the markets, take time and study, right? Learn another skill set, because this is not going away, guys. It's not like you're going to learn options today and then tomorrow it's going to be, you're going to have to learn physics or something, right? Something crazy. It's going to be, you're going to learn a skill set, and this is going to be a skill set that you're going to be pretty much use for life. It's not like options are going to go away. I mean, maybe someday they would, but I highly doubt it. But you'll see technology is constantly evolving, and you're seeing right here, we're on a computer screen right now. You're not having to call your broker to buy an options contract. You can do it instantly right from your computer, and the technology is going to make it just much better, right? So take the time, learn this. Remember, this is an education. It's a skill set. You're not like, if you're not treating this like you would your own business or a job, and you're treating it like some hobby and you're not taking it seriously, you're going to blow up your account and you're not going to be a serious and profitable trader. You have to take trading seriously. And like you would with an education, right? Like if you want to go back to school, right? You want to go to night school, or, a teacher, you want to get your master's, or your, whatever, you want to go back to night school, and you're going to take a couple years. You're going to study, right? You're going to put money into your education. You're going to study. You're going to study probably a couple hours a night for maybe a couple of years until you can get that next degree. So you can, upgrade your job or further your job or different your career, right? So you're going to study and you're going to put the effort in. And so why would trading be any different, right? If you're coming in and you want to learn trading, this is not some cheesy hobby, or now some people it is, right? But if you don't take it seriously, you're just going to come in and you're just going to just blow up your account. You're going to give your money to some other trader, and you're going to go about your day, and you're going to lose your money, right? But if you learn and treat this like a skill set and don't put the pressure on yourself, right? If you're new and you don't know what you're doing, just like any other career or education, you got to study, give yourself 6 months, a year plus, take the time to learn, practice, come in, take 6 months, study, take another 3 to 6 months, practice in a virtual account, and, get really good, give it a year, right? It might take a year plus to become good as a trader, but if you spend that time, you have a skill set for the rest of your life. And there are so many different trading strategies that you can do that you could do this for the rest of your life, and it can be a career, but you have to treat it like a career. You have to treat it like a profession. You can't treat it like it's some hobby. So if you're coming in and you're a gambler and you want to like try to make money in the markets right away, just be prepared to give your money to somebody that's going to take it from you. It's just the nature of the beast. You have to just give trading the time it deserves, and there's no pressure. You can come in and you can go and you can change this to to your paper account and go in and practice trading options contracts or pump and dump stocks and penny stocks and all that. You can just practice trading until you get good. You don't have to blow up your account like most traders do because they're too impatient. Take the time it deserves. So you can. Sure you can. Rent a beach house and a Lambo and take pictures of it showing you doing penny stocks and post it in social media. Everyone will follow you. I could do my impression. I could say I'll give you guys an impression, then I'm burnt, and then I'm gonna shut down for the day. So for those of you guys that watch YouTube and watch all those videos, you guys see those commercials, right? So the ones that play over and over by the top gurus you all know, right? So I'm thinking maybe of making a video like maybe I could do a good impression here. All right, Lucian here with the Bullish Bears team. I'm sitting here, just had a great day trading options, made $1,500. We killed it today. I'm going to sit here, guys. Join my free webinar. Come and join us right now, and I'll see you on the other side. I'm going to go have a nice, great lunch and then spend time out here on the ocean. You know, that's my YouTube impression. You know what I'm saying, Dean, right? The best one is, I ain't saying nothing, but the one that just makes me laugh every time is where the person is talking about, he's sitting at a restaurant talking about how he's going to go enjoy a nice lunch. You guys know, right? You know what I'm saying? Or the other one that gets out of a jet. Yeah. Lucian here with the Bullish Bears, just getting off my nice private jet here that I rented. Made $10,000 today. Great day in the trade room. Off to the ocean, spending some time with my family. Come and learn how to make $10,000 a day, just like me, trading options. Yeah. Yes, that's it. Hey, guys and gals, that's it. Oh, man, guys, we give you free reign. If we ever do... Penguin, that's funny, right? You know what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm saying. So if we ever do stuff like that, you get free reign to punch us. I do want to make a spoof video though. Wouldn't it be? I do. I didn't say it. I didn't say it, guys. I do want to make a spoof video, doing something douchey like that, right? Rent a jet, rent a Ferrari, go sit out by the ocean. I could also rock my what was it, my 1980s graphic tees. All right, I'm gonna probably wrap it up before I get in trouble today, guys, before I get myself into trouble. All right, for the yeah, they're everywhere. Anytime I watch any type of YouTube video, I see it. Lucian here with the Bullish Bears team, getting off my private jet. Just made $15,000 today. Join my webinar while I go and have a nice lunch. All right, guys. So for those of you guys that aren't members, if you want to join us, and I haven't ticked you off yet, then you can come and join us right over here. Got our trade rooms, our day trade, swing trade, futures room. Lots of activity going on here. Our watch list, our trade alerts, our courses, thousands of dollars. We now have opened up our courses because we're nice. We try to be nice. We actually put our courses back to being free for you guys. So you guys can take our courses over here. Yeah, I am yeah, I'm public on YouTube right now. I try to be. I got to practice my I try to practice my impressions. I mean, I don't mind. Like, if people are making more money than trade, that's, hey, good on them. They're a business, right? But just be like, just don't make it so obvious, you know? Oh, guys. So that's it. If you're not a member yet, come over here and join the Bullish Bears team. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to end this stream right now. I'm going to go maybe have a nice lunch and then maybe take a nap. Then I'm going to wake up, maybe do some shopping, maybe go out for a run and a jog while I spend some nice time today watching wrestling tonight and maybe grabbing a pizza. Come and join me. Come and join the Bullish Bears team and you could do the same thing. All right, guys. You have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you guys later. Enjoy.